Okay, folks, today we're going to be factoring trinomials. This is a shortcut when a is greater than 1. Remember the format for a trinomial. So here's the first example. This is a template for what we're going to be doing. Notice that the leading coefficient is 8, greater than 1. So we're going to slide, meaning multiply. So I multiply these two numbers and get 24. Now what? Notice it's just like what we learned in the last lesson about factoring trinomials. We need the factors of 24 that are going to add up to negative 10. So let's look at all the factors. They're listed right here. And you can see I've circled the one that does meet that criteria. So what multiplies to get 24 but adds up to negative 10? Plug those in, same way you did last time. Then divide by the number that is the leading coefficient. Simplify these fractions. There it is, simplify the fractions. 4/8 is 1/2 and 6/8 is 3/4. Place them here. Next, you're going to take this number that now is the simplified fraction and just slide it back up. The final answer is here. It's now 2x minus 1 and 4x minus 3. You can always check your work with FOIL. Double distribution, 2x times 4x, 2x times negative 3. Negative 1 times 4x, negative 1 times negative 3. Combine your middle terms, and there you go. So that's the general format for how this is going to work. All right, so let's try a few together. All right, so we've got a problem 2x squared minus 9x minus 5. So the first thing I said was to slide. So we're going to multiply those and get x squared minus 9x minus 10. Finally, now we find the factors of negative 10 that add up to negative 9. Now this is a little tricky because you got to remember your signs. That would be all of them. Which ones add up to negative 9? Right here. 1 minus 10 equals negative 9. So that's my combo. All right, put up our little format there. It's x, and we're going to add 1 and subtract 10. And now what? Divide by that number. Divide by 2. Simplify your fractions. This one's already simplified. So I can just take this and place it up here. Slide it over. This one is not simplified, but it's easy enough. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our final answer. Try another one that's a little trickier. Now, the first step here, remember if you have a negative in front, you got to remove the negative. All that does is change all the signs. So the negative's out front. This is now a positive 6x squared. This becomes a positive 19x. This becomes a positive 10. Now, the negative will just stay in front the whole way. So what's going to happen? I'm going to slide. I get x squared plus 19x plus 60. Factors of 60, that the numbers we can multiply to get 60, but add to get 19. And so what are the numbers we might think about? Well, we know that's not going to add up to 19. But you got to just go through all the ones you can think of. Use a multiplication chart. If you can get one online, use them in class. Equals 19. So there it is. So now I'm going to use our little template here, and it's plus 4 and plus 15. Divide by what? Divide by the 6. Now we have to reduce these fractions. Well, I'll do it over here. 4/6. Common factor is 2. You get 2/3. And the other one would be 15/6. Well, if we divide by 3, we get 5/2. So there's that one. Now what do we do? Last step, take this number and slide it up. Final answer. Okay, we'll do one more together, and then I'll give you a you try. Let's see. So, 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. No negative out front, so I don't have to worry about that. We're just going to multiply those two numbers. We get x squared plus 7x minus 8. The factors of -8 that add up to 7. Well, let's see. It's got to be a positive, so and these have to be, it's like 1 times 8, but it's either going to be a negative here or, and which do you think it is? Hopefully you're saying this. 8 minus 1 is 7. It's got to be the larger positive number. Let's write that in our little template. There we go. Now what? Divide by that original leading coefficient. And finally, we're going to slide again. Well, we can't simplify 1/2. It is simplified, so I can just slide that over. This can be simplified, but fortunately it's very simple. 8 divided by 2. Remember, 8 divided by 2. If I divide out 2, I get, which is x minus 4. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the final answer for that problem. So here you go. Here's your you try. This is where you can copy these questions, pause them, and do your work. Come back, unpause it, and check your work with mine. Are you pausing it? I hope so. Right. Here you are, you've come back, and there are your final answers. And there's all the work for it. So I hope you did well. We've accomplished our task, and see you next time.